very quickly now, Emma, to the residents' meeting. There are some corrections that need to be made, and they are important. We never had a chance at the meeting, and as you rightly said, that meeting took up so much time, it was hijacked completely, that nothing could be discussed that other people wanted to talk about. Many people walked out. So, firstly, to correct a comment by Roger Whitfield at the last Community Matters meeting, Paul Gardner was not introduced by Roger Whitfield, sorry, I should say RW, but it makes it easier, to the public at the residents' meeting as a resident. He was introduced as an ex-town council chairman and colleague. So not just a resident, but his political party leader. No other resident was asked to speak, no other past chairmen were approached to speak, despite two being present. The word cloud that was presented with no actual evidence omitted the words from social media that had been directed at residents of this town by the council's controlling party, dehumanising language towards them. There was much talk about debate, not hate, but nothing was mentioned about the unsavoury behaviour shown to two councillors by their own party colleagues, who this town council has now lost. A lot of mention was made about not spreading false information, yet the following was mentioned and needs to be corrected. Reference was made about a mother of a town councillor receiving a poison pen postcard about her daughter, unquote, that was a quote that was. There is no evidence that that incident was connected to anyone who attends town council meetings or who hold councillors to account. The lady involved, and a good family friend of mine, said it was connected to a hairdressing competition. Those who attend council meetings should never have been accused, and there should have been no implication they were involved. This information was discovered back in 2021, so one has to question why it was even relevant 3 years later to council business or that residents' meeting. A comment was made about the partner of a town councillor, and a comment was made towards the councillor. A link is available publicly to what was actually said and the context which related to that councillor's heavy loss of votes following his partner's online abuse, which is evidenced. The comments relating to an incident between a councillor and a resident was not true, as Mr. Ken Smith has tried to explain but was not allowed to at that infamous meeting where he was intimidated and harassed. The story, incidentally, told by councillors has changed every time it is referred to by the councillors, and that cannot be correct. Comments were made about connections between the town council and the press. While litigation was threatened by the newspaper, the North Somerset Times, evidence demonstrated there was indeed a connection between a reporter employed at that time by both the paper and the town council. No legal action could be taken or was taken because it was true. Then we have a photo incident where wording stated it was, and I quote, an unauthorised photo of a resident's 10-year-old grandson, close quote. That photo was put on the World Wide Web by a town councillor with no copyright and wide sharing capabilities, not unauthorised, not illegal. The photo, incidentally, was of a litter-picking team, which just so happened to include a 10-year-old, but was not specific in any way to them. In fact, the councillor's wife was told that if the photo was removed from social media and the World Wide Web, it would similarly be moved from the Facebook page, but she declined. Their grandson's name was never given, it was irrelevant. Interestingly, the same councillor who is currently a moderator on a political page called Posset Cast, led by the same man sharing this town council, which is shared publicly, uses a profile picture of young children, and so it's slightly ironic. Fake surrogate accounts were mentioned. Yes, this is a problem, and one which the Portishead Independent Party members create frequently, but little can be done about them except block the people concerned. They are a menace. Residents are affected far more than town councillors, and if I let you have the evidence of the town council who's created numerous Facebook profiles, I think you'd be quite shocked. You mentioned volunteers at the residents' meeting, RW. Being volunteers as councillors does not mean residents can be harassed, bullied, intimidated at their own residents' meeting. And that's what happened at that meeting by RW and PG. Councillors should not give out false information or unsubstantiated information, especially which were disproved back in 2021. One has to ask, why on earth did they hijack that meeting to raise things from 3 years ago that were disproved at the time? And it's a concern, and it shouldn't just be a concern for residents, it should be a concern for town councillors, because the residents' meeting is part of the town council's remit to actually provide that meeting. So to finalise, and thank you for your time, hopefully at the 2025 Portishead Residents Annual Meeting, this Portishead Independent Political Party controlled town council will commit to the mandate it widely broadcast before election and once elected in 2019, and allow the people of this town to choose a chairman of their choice independent of any political party, so that the residents' meeting is never again manipulated to give out false information as it was at the time and turned into a party political broadcast. The videos of residents who walked out of that meeting and who spoke in dismay at the behaviour of the person chairing that residents' meeting do nothing but bring this town council into disrepute. Thank you for allowing me to correct what was said at that annual resident meeting. Thank you.
I'm pretty hopeful that between now and the next meeting that we will have sufficient of our planned engagement meetings with all of our community in that sense, and from that and the feedback that we get from that, we're able to put together what it is that we need as a community in essence for that residents meeting, and just make sure that the focus is what it is that we need from it, and we need that feedback from the residents during that meeting to be able to do that.
Can I just add something then? But just to add to what you've just said, one of the things I raised at a previous meeting and then got a warning letter for saying it, so I'm going to say it again, so if you want to hand out another warning letter then please do. The Public Participation Working Group has 2 members on it that I have just referred to in what I've just said, so it doesn't give the public much encouragement to find that those 2 people are on that, and they're 2 that you know who they are. So I think what you've got to do, if you're going to have a public engagement group, great. I don't actually think public participation can be changed, to be honest, but I know that you've got this unit to do it. But you need to have people on there, like yourself, like I know you're on there, but councillors which haven't got the history that some of the others have. And it's important because you can't have people defaming and slandering people on social media under their name or any creative name they've got in charge of such a group.
We were just mentioning before the actual meeting started, just in general, that now that we've got more councillors and sort of on board in that sense, we are looking at our committee structures and the members of each of the committees, just to be able to level out what it is that we're doing between us as well. So yeah.
Sorry, when